All right, then, glad to have you back. Further reinforcing its reputation as the catalyst of positive transformation and success for women across the globe, Women in Management, Business and Public Service, WIMBIZ, has unveiled its audacious theme for its 2024 conference, Dream, Dare, Do. The WIMBIZ 2024 conference is set to hold on Thursday, November 7th and Friday, November 8th, 2024 in Lagos. Dream, Dare, Do, the theme for the WIMBIZ 2024 annual conference, serves as a powerful invitation to all women to embrace bold visions, push boundaries, and take purposeful actions towards their success. The theme is anchored on 3 pillars of our dreaming, which charges women, of course, to envision a bigger and brighter future. Of course, daring, pushing beyond limits and challenging the norm and taking decisive steps to turn visions into reality. The theme is a charge for women to dream bigger, dare to step into new territories, and take action to create the future they want to see. With a carefully curated lineup of keynote workshop and panel discussions designed to equip women with the mindset, tools, and network to turn dreams into reality, WIMBIZ 2024 is set to transform lives for the best. Let's talk to the Executive Director, WIMBIZ, Omowumi Akingbongbe. Thank you for coming on the program. And I also have the Chair of the Conference Planning Group, Okoyemi Oduwole. Good afternoon and thank you so much.
Good afternoon.
Well, it's good to have you ladies here. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Pleasure to be here.
As you prepare for your show, where do I start from? Let me start from this end. Let's talk about the WIMBIZ 2024. I am really, this your team is apt, I must say. Let me use that word. It's apt. But let's start with WIMBIZ. How has it been? Tell us a bit of it. How has it been? I've heard beautiful stories about WIMBIZ. So when I was doing my research today, more than 300,000 women have been, equipped. And of course, globally, you have more than 2,571 accomplished women. That's great. Tell us a bit about it.
So I'm going to talk about WIMBIZ as a delegate.
Okay.
And as an associate.
Great.
I started attending the WIMBIZ conference almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
Right. And I've gone every year, and it has been phenomenal. I made some of my closest friends there. I made some fantastic networks there. I learned some life-changing revelations there, right? Because when you sit in a room with so many people, with so much experience in areas you have not gone into, right? There is no way you go to that kind of place intentionally and you come out with nothing. So I am a product of the hard work of the founders of WIMBIZ to a very large extent. And I do say to anyone that attends, you cannot go wrong if you go intentionally. I have to put it that way.
If you go intentionally. 23 years, Executive Director, tell us about this journey. How's it been?
I mean, the WIMBIZ story has been one that I'll describe as phenomenal. Just like you mentioned, you did your research well. Over 330,000 women has been impacted through WIMBIZ. And at the heart of everything that we do, just like our mission statement says, is that our mission is to inspire and empower women to attain leadership positions. So we want to be able to ensure that every effort that we're putting together, including the annual conference, which is our flagship program, is to help increase the representation of women in leadership, public service, business, as well as management in the private sector. And we can see that growing year in, year out. But the important thing is that we have that platform where women can learn, unlearn, be inspired, empowered. We've given grants to business women. We've empowered people through training on how to even manage their businesses, how to even climb the corporate ladder, inclusive of mentoring programs that help train women on how they can attain board positions. So, I mean, we're excited about the annual conference with the theme Dream, Dare, Do, because part of the limitations women have sometimes to is stereotyping. They just don't even see how they can get to certain things. So this conference is trying to open up minds, open up channels of inspiration where people can actually even meet and connect with women that have been there, done that, do, and succeed.
Let me take it from that theme. Dream, Dare, Do. Looking at the challenges we face as a country at the moment, it seems like WIMBIZ is pushing for women to rise above these unprecedented challenges, or what? Tell us more about this thing.
So I was doing my research, right? And then I realized that Disney started in 1929.
Wow.
Just at the beginning of the Depression, right? FedEx started in 1971, just coming out of a depression. And then I started to look at businesses, and I started to realize that so many people that did extraordinary things started in periods of time when it didn't look as if it was going to be extraordinary. In fact, Hyatt hotel chain, which so many people know, started and almost failed twice. So the question becomes, why would those people have done what they did? It takes more than sitting down and saying, I want to achieve a goal to actually achieve that goal. We all know that. There's a whole ecosystem around being extraordinary in any way. There's a support system. There's the mind that you have. There is, how you prepare for the future. Yeah. There is mentoring. There is a whole ecosystem. And what we wanted to do with this conference was to get women in the room and get women by the end of the conference to stand up and say, I can do that. But not only I can do that because I have this, I have this, I have this, or I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. And I said to everybody, and I keep saying it, if you've achieved all your dreams, then you really maybe shouldn't be at the conference. But I don't know if there's anybody in this whole world that has achieved all their dreams. So if you haven't, there is one reason. There must be something that you need to plug into to pivot to the next level. The question is, what is that thing? The probability is that you probably don't even know it. But when you sit in that ecosystem and you start hearing from different people across different places, then you start to say, oh, this must be it, or that must be it, or I need to tweak here, or I need to change here, or I need to work on this. And therefore, you can leverage all that information, all that knowledge, all that network, and step up. And we're hoping you'll be the next Hyatt or the next FedEx or the next Disney.
That's a great one. I know you want to talk about the theme. While you do that, I'd like you to also touch about some of the plenary sessions. Can you tell us about it?
Oh, wow. It's loaded is first what I can say. The panel sessions were very strategic, just like Ope mentioned. There's a deliberate effort, so it's okay for you to dream, but what next after dreaming? And the way we've been able to curate the panel sessions is to address that. There's a panel that will talk about the emotional part of you after dreaming, even after daring to do certain things. There's the emotional struggle. There are things that could even lead to some certain fatigues. We know women, beyond their career path and every other thing, they are so saddled with so many other things, the family aspects, being able to deal with all of that. So there's the emotional aspect of how you are able to manage and deal with that aspect. There's also the workshops. Now, this is going granular and being hands-on. Now, we're not just talking about things in the air. Now, get your pen and write. What are the next steps on the things that you're going to do? And we have veterans in the industry that will be putting them through. We have Nia Desoya, we have DDK, that will be putting people through on how to navigate the challenges and even the steps, the strategic objectives that they need to put in place when it comes to dreaming, daring, and implementing the goals that they set for themselves.
All right, a minute now. Let's take this breather so that we'll link up with all our other platforms and continue this conversation across the board. All right, then. Thank you so much for staying with us. I still have in the studio Executive Director, WIMBIZ, Omoumi Akingbongbe. She's here. We are speaking ahead of the conference. And I have Okpeyemi Oduwole, the chair of the planning group for the conference. Yes, we're trying to make some sense about the theme and what we're also looking ahead. Impact. Yes, now let's talk impact. I'm going to start again from this side now. Let's talk about impact. You've been attending years before now, of course. Tell us about the impact. How has it been?
Impact of WIMBIZ at large would be about how we've been able to get women from point A to point B.
Obviously.
Making dreams become reality, and even open ways for them to be able to dream and attain leadership positions. Our mission in WIMBIZ is to inspire and empower women to attain leadership positions. So at the heart of what we do, we want to be able to increase women representation in leadership positions across the private sector, public sector, as well as businesses. Over the past 23 years, we've been able to impact and work with over 330,000 women.
That's remarkable.
And another worthy note to mention is the mentoring program, where we've been able to mentor over 1,700 women, not just to climb the career ladder, but also to train them on how to be board ready, to be on board positions. We don't stop at just working with women, because we know that girls in the near future will become women. And a lot of stereotype make people, girls especially, limit themselves in terms of their aspirations. So we work with girls through our Big Sister program, where we rove around secondary schools across the nations and engage girls, speed mentor them, and prepare them for the future. So WIMBIZ has been, talking about the annual conference, there was someone I was engaging in the past, and she was saying, what's all this conference all about? And I said, if we have over 2,500 women gathering every year into a hall for 2 days, there must be something serious happening. So until you experience it, before you really know.
Let me ask the question about the plenary session again. Maybe you tell us more about this. I know there will be some hot keynote speakers that we would be expecting to see at this gathering, of course.
Okay, so first of all, we put a lot of work into picking the people to sit on the plenaries, because we really wanted to put together practical experiences and people that had the capacity to speak to those topics, right? So we have our chairperson, Professor Shade Ogunshola, who is the first female VC of University of Lagos, dreamed, dared, and did. We have Professor Yemi Oshibajo taking the keynote address.
Wow.
And we know he's dared to dream and do several times over. And on the plenaries, we have things like embracing a limitless mindset. Because when you ask, I like to call them the greats, why they did what they did, it starts, you hear from the way they speak. Think about someone like Steve Jobs. It starts in the mind. There's something about the way that they think that we're trying to capture, right? And then from there we go on to conquering new frontiers. If you run a business, you can never stagnate. How do you get into new market share? How do you expand your capacity? Even in looking after your children, they're conquering new frontiers if they're moving into different stages of education or into life in general. We talk about future-proofing your business. We don't want you to not be future-ready and then one day find out that you are nowhere in the context of things. And we talked about what Wumi spoke about, which was the mental fortitude it takes to build great things. And when we talk about great things, sometimes women that are mothers or women that are housewives or women that are in the market feel like we've excluded them. No. Whether you are building the next Barack Obama, or you are bringing up the next Steve Jobs, or you are building the next Disney, or you are going to be the next Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and run the World Trade Organization. Whatever is your dream, there is a journey. There is an emotional fortitude. There is a strength that is needed for you to be able to extend that. And then we now thought about it and we looked at what was going on in our economy. We've noticed that, especially there's an evolution in the workspace. Entertainment is a big deal now, right? So we're also looking at entertainment not only as a sector, but entertainment as a business, right? So if you're a young person, how do you get into the entertainment industry? What does it look like as a business? And if you are an investor, what does it look like? We haven't even talked about the business pitches, because we want to teach people. A lot of people, the problem is capital. They'll tell you, I don't have capital. But the capital is out there. How do you raise capital? So we're having a business pitch. We have veteran judges, people that do private equity, people that do venture capitalism. They are coming in, investment bankers, and they're coming in to say, this is how you do it, right? As people give their pitches. And then, like we did, we landed with the workshop because we're going to the granular, your habits, your strengths, your weaknesses, both on a personal level, at a career level, and for your business. It's a whole ecosystem of the why you should dare to dream and do. Anybody that isn't there is missing, I must say.
Well, I need to be there. I need to ask. This is just for women alone. Are men allowed to attend this conference? Seriously, tell us about this.
Oh, most definitely. Our keynote speaker is Professor Emil Shiba.
Oh, that's
I
right.
mean, that definitely
that clears that.
And you know,
that
men actually play an important role when it comes to leadership for women. I mean, no doubt a lot of men have been there. When we talk about the statistics on the percentage of men in leadership position, it outweighs the women. But we need men, our he for she, that can also speak to the fact that, I'm sure you've worked with some women and you can see their work ethics and things like that. And the issue of talking about this gender balance thing, like I always say, it's not a women issue. It's actually a human right issue. Being able to ensure that the representation, because everybody brings different things to the table. We've talked about leadership styles and traits for men and women. While men could be very logical about how they would attend to some things, the women can sometimes lead from the heart and be able to attend to some people issues that most times men would overlook. So it's not one against the other. It's about complementing each other and ensure that there's equal representation.
I like that fact.
So you're very welcome to be at the conference.
All right, then. And it's also going to be a hybrid one this time around.
Yes, so we do.
Tell us what you expect around that.
So we have a whole virtual system in place. We are very clear about the fact that WIMBIZ is a global organization. We know that we have Nigerians across the continents of the world. And we are ready for, it's easy for them to register. They can even pick their workshops. They can attend all the plenaries. They can listen to the business pitches. And on a side note, I was a virtual anchor for like 3 good years. They have the most fun. I don't know how they do it in that room, but people have connected with people. People have gotten businesses. People have even gotten opportunities just by sitting in that room. People are introducing themselves, passing comments, connecting, and, saying, oh, I'm here. Are you in England? Oh, I'm in England. Oh, where do you stay? What do you do? And, that comes. So apart from all of that, I would love to quickly mention the networking aspect of the WIMBIZ conference. I always say, or I learned recently, that there are 2 aspects to networking, right? You need to know, I say to people, those that are rising and those that have risen. So sometimes when you have, and I say those that have risen, when you get to the top of your career, and you go for a conference and all the people that are coming up the ladder, right, come to you and they keep saying, hello, hi. It can be a bit daunting, so many people pulling you on every side. And sometimes when you are rising and trying to meet the people at the top, it can be a bit daunting. But I say to those that are risen, that at one point in time, those that are rising are going to be where you are. And it's always nice to know people in your ecosystem. And I say to those that are rising, that the people that have risen know things you do not know. So you don't need to struggle in some areas. And I always do this test, and I recommend to everyone that will be attending the conference, write down 10 sectors, write down someone right top middle, and see if you have a name that is on your phone that you can call, right, for each of those sectors. If you have any gap, then that is a sector that you do not know somebody in, and you intentionally need to meet somebody in. Because when you get to the top, it's really about how many problems you can solve by picking up a phone. So you need to be at that conference, intentionally targeting somebody in that sector and making that connection. I'm sure somebody will be grateful to me for that tip.
Indeed, let me come back this way now. How can our audience, our listeners, how can they register for this event?
Oh, pretty simple. First, WIMBIZ were very social, so on all the social media platforms, please just jump on it. We're very responsive when it comes to that. But by and large, you can visit the website, which is www.wimbiz.org. So WIMBIZ.org. And I must add to it that when it comes to the movement for WIMBIZ, it's a global movement now. We're not just attracting women in Nigeria, we're attracting women across the globe, because the issues that we address are not just peculiar to Nigerian women. It's most times things that are across the board.
I saw your 4 pillars: inspire, empower, advocate, and connect.
Exactly, exactly. Last year we had people come in for the conference from over 8 countries. So we're expecting much more this time around. They're coming in physically, they're dialing in. So irrespective of wherever you are across the globe, you should be a part of the conference. So sign up and be a part of it.
Your parting shot, what more do you want Nigerians to know?
My parting shot to everyone would be, nobody has ever achieved anything in life without being intentional about it. Neither has anyone ever achieved anything in life without actually having the support system and the network to make it happen. Nobody is going to come and sit with you, well, except you hire a coach, to walk that system with you. So you want to sit down and say to yourself, do I have everything I need to be exactly where I need to be? What is missing? Can I get it at the conference? My answer to you would be, you probably can. And if you can, why would you not be there? Because you are the one that would dare to dream and do. The next unicorn company might be sitting in your mind. It might be sitting in your hands. And it might be sitting in that handshake you will have at a WIMBIZ conference. So definitely. And when you come, look for me and say hello.
I think sometimes I think this is really mind-blowing. Everyone should just take advantage of events like this one. I must say thank you. Brilliant and interesting conversation I must have been having with Omomi Akingbongwe, who's Executive Director WIMBIZ, and also on my right side, Okoyemi Oduwole, Chair of the Planning Group. A lot of work would have been going on there. Planning a conference like this, I can imagine. Yes. How's it been?
Well, we worked hard, so please take advantage of our work.
All right. Thank you so much. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. TVC will be there for you, of course. Trust us. We will be there. All right, then. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, my guest is already